Hey, my fallen ones, and welcome to another Shen Pe Uts Taa-Neter production. I am your storyteller and hostess, Shen Pe. And today I just want to continue with my last rant that I've done. I think the last one I've done, Winter is Here. I think I've done that almost a month ago. And what brought me to that rant was me going into Burger King and finding all of these G. Floyd indigents living with their paper bags of belongings inside of the dining room of Burger King. And there's just a couple of rants that I want to go through because this is just so crazy, everything that's going on. Basically, I want to say that I want to start off with saying that just being observant of what's going on in a certain sector of the YouTube community, that it's like boy, I tell you. All right, first let me just continue with the Burger King rant, and then I'll come back to all of that at a later time, because I'm not going to stay up 2 hours for this rant. I'm just going to give it by piece, and it's an esoteric rant. But anyway, back to the Burger King, right? I was so mad because, they have these G. Floyds out here living in these fast food restaurant dining areas, which nobody can really sit in and eat anymore. Well, I don't know about where you're at in a geographical location, but where I'm at in New York, and in particularly in Manhattan, because I generally don't leave Manhattan, but particularly in Manhattan, where I'm at, the fast food restaurants, even though you have to be mandated, like vaccine and all of that stuff, to eat in a restaurant in New York, whether it's a fast food restaurant or a regular, chef restaurant, which we have a lot of those out here. But even with all of that, a lot of the majority of the fast food restaurants here in the city, they have their dining room closed. So the most you can do is just go online and just wait on your food, or you can get your food delivered by Uber Eats or Grubhub or, Seamless, something like that, right? So in my last rant, I was just out and about, and I decided to stop at Burger King because, like I said, I like their Impossible Whopper. That Impossible meat is really good, and I like their Impossible Whopper. So I went and I was just angry because, they were like living in there, doing they dirty shit in there, and it was just disgusting. But the young lady that worked there, she worked there that got shot and murdered actually by another G. Floyd indigent that was previously employed there. I don't think they knew each other. According to the reports, they didn't know each other. He was previously employed there a year ago. I think 2020. She just started working there a few months ago, beginning the end of 2021. I think like in November. And it's really crazy because when I went in there, when she first started working in there, that the first time I went in there, when she was first working in there, I was waiting to make my order. So, I was standing online, and there were two G. Floyd indigents, ahead of me, right? And, while they ordering, they off their dollar menu. I think they spent like maybe $2, and now, mind you, it was two of them. It was two of them together, right? And they ordered off the dollar menu. And, I think their whole order came up to like $2 or $3.35 or some shit like that. So while they making their little cheap ass dollar menu order, they over here sexually harassing the young lady. I think she was like 19. And they over here sexually harassing us. I'm like, yeah, you fine. Yeah, if I want to talk to you, you know, I'm not looking for, would you talk to somebody only who have money? And, you know, it's not all about money to me. It's the personality, and I would spend time with you. And I'm just standing behind them, just, you know, with my old ass, because I am old, okay? And I'm just standing, I'm just like, you know, I got my head down. I'm embarrassed for this young lady. And I'm just shaking my head, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, why are you over, like, that's sexual harassment. Why are you sexually harassing this young lady while she's at work? Like, leave her the fuck alone, place your fucking order, and move the fuck out the way so I can make my fucking order, you know? Because I'm having to stand and wait on them to move, because it's still social distancing, right? And I'm having to wait on them with they fucking G. Floyd spit bubble fucking rhetoric of, you know, why she should give them a phone number or some shit, you know, while they're sexually harassing this young lady. I'm having to wait on them to move out the damn way to make my damn order. Well, that was in November. And then that was like I don't know, that was in November. And then I went back again in December, and I made my rant again after coming back. And I said, you know, I don't even know how I went in there, because I usually order all my shit online now. Like, it's so dangerous in New York City. The police are, you know, like, so far in 2020, it's already been like 6 cops shot. And me, I don't have anything against the police. I don't agree with defunding the police. Police has never bothered me. Anytime that, you know, I've had an interaction with the police, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time it was, you know, a good interaction. It wasn't anything. The only -1% of the time that I might have had a bad interaction with the police, you know, I got that resolved. You know, I went through the civilian review board and all of that. I got that resolved, you know, and I met with the officer and everything, and let him know that shit he did, it just wasn't right. And, you know, I know what you think is like all niggas are the same, but I'm not like them Negroes over there. You understand? I really had to make that clear. But 99.9% of the time, my interactions with police was decent. And, you know, they've helped me. You know, whenever I needed assistance, they were there to assist me. So, I mean, I know it might be weird, but when I see police officers out here on their beat or whatever, I acknowledge them. I either nod or I say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because I'm glad they're there. Boy, but I tell you, since January, I think we've had like 6 police officers murdered so far. And I'm going to get to that, the last one that just happened last night. But back to the Burger King situation. So I went in there, and that was in December when I made that rant. And in that rant is called Winter is Here. And in that rant I was just warning Black women against, you know, like just being very careful, and talking about the so-called divested community. Like, you know, it's like I've noticed, I've observed that some of them make it seem like you enjoy living in Blackistan and that you prefer to stay in Blackistan. But, you know, like, it's a whole lot to that. It's a whole lot to that where, like, some of us at the moment just cannot get out of Blackistan. And the way things are going, it don't look like it's even going to be possible. Because like I've explained in my last video, Winter is Here, you know, my family ain't shit. I isolated myself I don't even consider them family. They're just relatives on my mother's side, you know? But they're not shit. I've isolated myself from them. I've isolated myself from toxic people, including relatives. I've isolated myself from them and the children that I have. My children don't even know them people. And I have no regrets to that. Even though I'm in a desperate situation now where I want to leave Blackistan, and although I got relatives all up and down the East Coast going towards the West, all the way past Mississippi, Tennessee, or I mean, in Mississippi, Tennessee, New Orleans, Texas, and all the way to Nevada where the tumbleweeds are, and all the way to California. You know, my mother's side of the family, that's a large slave family. And like I said at my last rant, it was a big family. Those people are recorded in the Library of Congress. They have the name of the first slave that came on the first slave ship here. Okay, and it was a large, very extremely large slave family. Okay, I'm telling you, it's a large family, a large slave family that's been here since like the 1700s. But anyway, they've been here that long, and like I said in my last video, they still ain't shit, you know, and I can't rely on any of them to, you know, get myself out of Blackistan. And anyway, I'm not even sure that I want to move to another state, because it's like wherever black people are, there is Blackistan. It doesn't matter. This is why I don't call myself divested or anything like that. Ever since 2009, I've been, I don't want to say divested, because there were some people that was back then. There was a few people, one person is like really into esoteric. She's really good. I've, you know, followed her for years on YouTube. Most of y'all are not ready for that, but there's another YouTuber, Miss Archduchess, that I've been following since, I don't know, maybe 2013 or whatever. Maybe before that, I don't remember, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time. But I'm saying that to say that, you know, I've been on YouTube. I've had several channels that were taken down. And I've been doing teaching since like 2009. But then I noticed that like after the years, there was some other people on here that, you know, people are talking about, oh, they were the first ones to, you know, like, you bitches really got fucking ego problems. Y'all just as bad as these G Floyds. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all really got some fucking ego problems, and I don't like none of y'all. As a matter of fact, I had to separate myself from these bees, because, you know, especially one of them that's like, I've noticed that they keep calling her name, saying, I think they call her KFC or something. She used to go by Brooklyn Blue. I remember that because she was a part of my Facebook group back in 2012 or something like that. And even back then, you know, she had her certain, group of following, which I really had to separate myself from, because a lot of them, they were like the others, I will just say, because, you know, in terms of my inner wisdom and esoteric knowledge, there were two different groups, or two different types of women. There were two different types. There were the first, the original, which was man, or wombs man. And I say W-O-M like Mary, B like boy, M like man, A and N like Nancy, wombed man. Okay, that was the original. And then came the Hugh wombs man. Okay. So there were two different races or archetypes, and One of them were renegade from the beginning. This isn't just their males. I'm telling you, it's the females also. They were renegade from the beginning. And they were the reason why we have a patriarch, which is not even real. There was never such thing as a patriarch until these bitches came around, okay? Okay? Patriarch and feminism, which is the same fucking thing, okay? But that's another story for my esoteric lessons. Right now, I'm just having a fucking esoteric rant, is what I will say. But it was two different types, and the others that I was separating myself from around 2012, 2013, that was in that group with these females on here. Yes, I said females. On here are on YouTube are talking about, yeah, she was the first, what, like, see, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm going to say it don't fucking matter who is first or what. As long as there is a message that's being reiterated, it doesn't matter who is reiterating this message, okay? And it doesn't matter who fucking started reiterating the message. As long as it's being reiterated, and those who belong to those certain star, soul, solar, sun groups are reunited, okay? Because this is what's happening. This is what's happening. It's a reuniting of different solar, soul, sun, star groups, okay? Because like I said in my other video, I don't remember which one, but we are not the same. We are all not the same, We are connected, but that does not mean that we are the same, okay? And I'm saying that to say that, these bitches got problems with that ego and shit. Oh, you were the first and all of this dumb shit. But anyway, this is why I don't call, because I've been doing this since 2009 when I stopped sleeping with G. Floyd since 2009, okay? I've stopped sleeping with G. Floyd since 2009. In 2014, I had sex, but it was more like a tantric sex. It wasn't like, a root chakra sex, like, oh, I need some dick, like I'm a field animal, like that, like the white dude said in Miss Archduchess video that she replayed when he was calling the white dude was calling the G. Floyd nigger, and saying you're nothing but a field animal. Well, I mean, that field animal got counterparts. Those counterparts are the same females. Yes, I said fucking female that be out here talking about, well, I just can't. I need some dick. I need dick. I need dick. I just need dick. That's another main reason why I stopped fucking with them females who was supposed to be the originator of the divestment movement, back in 2012, 2013. Like, I stopped fucking with them because not only were they saying shit like that, but they were saying shit like, it's good that black males become, can I say it? Not heterosexual. What's that word? Homosexual. It's good that, they encouraged it. They encouraged homosexuality between black males because they was like, if this happens, then we'll have an ally. This will be our ally for the mother God. Like, they were just blaspheming the mother God totally. Like, no, don't you know that, these dudes, they still don't like you? It's not that, what do they say, that imitation is a form of what they say, imitation is a form of flattery. No, it is not the same. It is not the same thing. To me, imitation is a form of envy. And envy is, I'm not going to say it's a sin, and because I already said in my last video what sin is. envy is against the cosmic law. Like, like imitation is a form of envy. I mean, why would you want to go and imitate yourself? Or it's not imitate yourself. Why would you want to go and imitate anyone? You're supposed to be yourself in the most or raw and original fucking form. You're not supposed to be out here trying to be like somebody else. I remember, long time ago, I've had people say, man, I want to be just like you. No, you don't. You don't want to be like me. You know what? You want to be better than that. Okay. That's exactly what I told them. You want to be better than me. You don't want to be like me. Why the fuck you want to be like me? You want to be better than that. You want to be the best that you can be in your most original and raw form. You don't want to be here imitating nobody else. I mean, what kind of foolishness and fuckery is that? Boy, I tell you. But, then you got these, you had these female bitches talking about, yeah, so we'll have allies for the great mother goddess, because I was teaching this, back then. I was teaching all of this. And, and these females that inserted themselves in that circle that I had, they were like, the same females who these other females on YouTube are saying were the originators of the divestment group. They were saying shit like that. Yeah, and we'll have allies for the great mother if black males were gay. And even one of them even emailed me and inboxed me and was like some nasty shit like, they were into lesbianism and all of that. I don't know if I could say that, but they was into women sucking other women's twat, or however a woman is supposed to have sex with another woman. I don't know. But they were into that also. And they were like, one of them even wrote to me and was like, yeah, it would turn me on to see a nigga suck another nigga dick. I was like, oh my God, I just got so sick to my stomach. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna teach anymore, because I need to get these fucking, flies off of me. And I mean, even a person of a higher being, a person on a higher level of chakra, or a higher light being, even, moths and flies are still attracted to light. You understand what I'm saying? Moths and flies are attracted to fucking light. Okay. And you still have to protect your energy. You have to know how to protect your energy. So me, being on the level that I'm on, that's what I did. I protected my energy, because I understood that even my light can attract moths and flies. Okay. So that's what I did. I stopped pretty much teaching about the great mother and the transition of the solstice and all of that. I just stopped doing it because, then when I stopped doing that, I was able to just, not just protect my energy, but I was able to like shake them bitches off of me, because I ain't want them around me like that. Even if it was just on the internet. I don't want them bitches around me like that. So I'm just saying to say that I haven't fucked a nigga since 2009. And in 2013 and 2012, when I still haven't fucked a nigga, and I was celibate, I haven't had sex. And these nasty bitches were talking about, yeah, I still need dick. Like, they were saying that then. For all of you, I see that you are a goddess in your own right. And, for all of you that I observe and see that you're a goddess in your own right, like, them bitches been saying that shit. Them bitches been nasty like that, And it's just like the white dude said on Miss Archduchess, channel where she played back that video, is just like he said, they're beasts in the field. And just like I explained in my other esoteric video, uh, they're beasts in the field. This is why Lilith didn't want to sleep with Adam. You know, this is why. Listen, that's just part of the reason. But the other part of the reason, I have to go in to my in on those lessons, right? And I will. I'm gonna get to that. You know, it's just a lot of information. But anyway, the females are the same. They are the same counterpart. They're the counterpart of Adam. They are not going to, even Eve deceived, you know, the snake in the garden, which I explained was really symbolic of Lilith and symbolic of wisdom, right? Even she not even deceived her, but even Eve betrayed her by, you know, trying to put Adam on to the fucking esoteric wisdom and secret. And what did Adam do? He ain't, when his God came into the garden and was like, yo nigga, what the fuck? Didn't I tell you not to eat that shit? And what did he say? He ain't take no accountability, no responsibility. He turned around and was like, that bitch made me do it. That bitch made me do it. She gave me that motherfucking apple and that bitch made me do it. Like, I ain't got no sense, no nothing. But, you know, like, y'all can't be mad at these bitches because they're not going to evolve. They are not. Let me tell you, it was two of us. And one of us was, like I said before, renegade from the beginning. Renegade. And what we should have did was we should have offed them. But we didn't. And their descendants, their seeds are what we see today. You know, look, Eve deceived or betrayed Lilith. These bitches ain't got no fucking loyalty. They just don't. And it's not a lot who are of, you know, the first archetype of women. It's not a lot of them left. That's just very few. Okay? And it's just sad, but yeah. So them bitches, I done said already, they are, you know, they're just and look, don't even upset yourself, but just accept that some are going to be the sacrifice. Boy, I tell you, I don't feel sorry for these people. Like, let me just keep it real. The only reason why I'm teaching is because I am in contract with my galactic elders to do that. I condescendingly incarnated here as I am to fulfill my contract. And when I say condescendingly, I'm saying that because I don't like none of y'all. To be totally honest, I don't like none of y'all. I am free from all prejudice. I hate everyone equally, okay? I hate everyone equally. I'm free from all prejudice. I don't like none of y'all. And the only reason why I'm even teaching is because it's a part of my contract. It's a part of my contract. I know what I am here to do. I know what I'm here to do. And you know what I have, my lessons is not for everybody. It really isn't. I don't expect to have, you know, 100,000 or 1 million followers like somebody on YouTube was like, well, unless somebody got more followers than me, they can't tell me shit. Like, what I tell you, these bitches got ego. Like, child, boy, I tell you, listen, my shit ain't for everybody. So I don't expect to have 100. Look, if I have 20 followers, I'm grateful for that, because then I know my contract has been fulfilled. If it was only 20 people listening to me, okay? And still, I could have 100,000 followers. It don't mean, or not followers, I could have 100,000 subscribers. It doesn't mean that 100,000 people are listening to me. You know, on my Facebook, I have two Facebook pages, and on each page I have maybe the maximum of 5,000 followers on each page. And I'm telling you, out of those 5,000 followers, I probably get maybe 3 inboxes out of a year, you know, thanking me for the information that I'm giving out freely. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm saying only like 3 people. And even if it's just 3 people, I'm good with that. I'm not like, well, you know, no, it's not for everybody. My food ain't for everybody to eat. And it damn sure ain't gonna taste good to everybody, okay? And you know, I'm okay with that. Like I said, if I had 100,000 followers and only 20 fucking people was listening, I'm good, because I know my contract was fulfilled, and I know that it's not for everybody. The group of the original goddess, sister gods, are very small. It's really not that many. Now there's a lot of imitators. You know, you have a hell of a lot of imitators, you know, but the goddess, or the women that embody the spirit of the goddess, to be more specific, okay? The women that embody the spirit and the energy of the goddess, of our divine mother goddess, they are very far and few in between, okay? And I'm going to tell you, I'm 53 years old, and in my 53 years, I can count maybe on one hand how many of those women that I have come across, okay? And this is real talk. This is real talk. Okay? Okay, maybe 1.5 hands I could count. All right, let me keep it real. Maybe 1.5, but I'm just saying that to say that, you know, it's very far and few in between, right? And back to these bitches that are beasts in the field, like the white dude said about their male counterparts. They are no fucking different. They are also beasts in the field, talking about they need dick, they need dick, they need dick. Well, I haven't slept with a Nignog or a G Floyd indigent since 2009. And even when I was teaching around 2013, I was abstinent. I haven't had sex. And let me just go and say this. The last person that I was with who was a G Floyd indigent, I'm going to tell you, all of this vetting shit that these bitches be telling you is no fucking vetting in the world when it comes to these G Floyd indigents. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the last, I was about to say it, but yeah, the last nigga that I fucked in 2009, the only reason why I was even dating him was because I thought that I didn't have to do the work. I'm going to just be totally honest about my experience. I thought that I didn't have to do the work because we went back like 3 generations, okay? When I say that, I'm telling you to say that our grandparents all bought houses at the same time on the same block on Park Place in Brooklyn. And they all started the block association or the neighborhood watch program over there, because our block, at the end of the block on Park Place where we was at, the end was like Albany projects over there, where all the savage peasants lived at and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So our grandparents had started the Neighborhood Watch Block Association. We had block parties on our block, things like that. They planted all the trees on our block, everything. So our parents, our parents grew up together. This person that I was dealing with, the last G. Floyd indigent that I was dealing with, our parents grew up together. They all went to elementary school, middle school, high school. They all went to all of that together. They all got in trouble together. All of that shit, they all grew up together. And then we was born, and then we all played like back then, we used to go outside and play like jacks, hopscotch. The girls was playing hopscotch, jack, double dutch, and the boys would be on the block playing skelly and football. They played skelly and football most of the time. And then when we got together into Colgate sports or activities, or co-ed, that's what they call it, where both sexes play, we played tag, we played red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. We played run, catch, and kiss. We played hot peas and butter. We played that shit together. And then, the other shit we played, separated. Like the Dutch and the Jacks and the hopscotch, the Skelly the boys play. Yeah, I used to play Skelly with the boys, but it was a point where I like beat all the boys on the block. I had all they fucking tops. I was like a master at that. So at one point when they saw me coming and I asked if I could play, they shut me down quick fast. They were like, hell no. Go play some jacks or jump some damn double dutch. But anyway, those were the days. We used to go outside and play. So this person that I was dating, I knew from those days, our parents were crying out loud. Our parents used to get in trouble together. So I'm thinking that, I didn't have to do the work. I'm thinking I know him. He know me. We know each other. We don't have to do the work to, get to know our parents. 'Cause we fucking knew, it's like, oh boy, I tell you, but no, even with all of that, let me tell you something. It ended up, I'm just going to say that it ended up with me having a fractured rib and a collapsed lung out of that relationship. And that was the last time I ever fucked with a G. Floyd indigent. Okay, that was the last time I was like, fuck that. And then I was doing like spiritual soul searching and things like that. And I was just getting on my spiritual journey after that. That's what forced me into it. That experience right there, and the fact that I knew this person for 3 generations and they turned around and they did this to me, like that shit was like, that was traumatizing. So these bitches on here talking about you got a vet, no, you can't. There is no vet in a G. Floyd. There is no vet in a G. Floyd. And at that time when that happened, my sons, they were young. I think they were like maybe 8 and 7. I don't remember, but they were young. They were still in elementary school. So, and I'm saying that to say, because sometimes, we got to teach, or like sometimes it's better if you learn from other people's experience. So for some people, that is, not for everybody, because there's some people that are just, beast in the field. You know, it don't matter. They'll get shot in their stomach. They'll get beat down by the same G. Floyd and call police 100 million times. It don't matter. You know, they're still stuck there. But for women who are on their journey, just learn from my experience, okay? There is no vetting these G. Floyds. It is a spiritual karma that they have to fulfill. It's their spiritual karma, and from the information that I'm getting from spirit is telling me that well, I'm gonna save that for another for my lesson video, but it's a spiritual karma that these G. Floyd indigents have to fulfill. And if you are in their way, then you will just be a consequence of that spiritual karma that they have to fulfill. You know, you're just going to be a consequence. Okay. And whether you end up, I was lucky to come out with my life, you know, but that's because, you know, I want to say that, you know, there was a higher purpose for me and I was not fulfilling it at that time. But I went on to my spiritual journey after that. And then I started teaching like 3 years later, maybe 2011 or 12, about, you know, our cosmic mother. And, you know, I was oracleizing, if that's even a word. You know, I was like a mouthpiece, like an oracle, you know. And that's when I came across this group of beast in the field females. And, you know, I had to separate myself because I was like, you know, they were like, yeah, I need dick. And I was celibate. I was celibate all the way up until I think maybe 2014. Yeah, till 2014. And then when I had sex in 2014, it wasn't with the G. Floyd indigent. And it was for tantric purposes is when I did that. It was for tantric purposes. So, and I've been celibate since then, since 2014. I've been celibate since then, you know, back to my celibacy, you know, and it's not like, it's not important for me to, and I'm 53 now. So I wasn't 53 in 2009 when I became celibate after I had that experience. And to be totally honest with you, I'm more powerful than I was when I was just having sex with, you know, these G. Floyd indigents, you know. I mean, I was always there, but it's like I've gained more power. You know, I'm 53. I have no gray hairs. I still get my menses on the regular. You know, I could still make babies. I still get my menses. I have no gray hairs. I have no health problems. I have no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no sickle cell, no, I ain't got none of that. I am so good. I'm so good, you know. And I don't even look like I'm 53. How about that? I could pass for maybe 10 years younger. People even tell me younger than that. They be surprised when I be like, yeah, I'm 53 years old. You know what I'm saying? But people be surprised because, you know, some stores you go in, it's a law in New York now. Like some stores you go in to buy alcohol, you have to like be 30 years, like you have to be at least look 30 years old. If the person don't look 30 years old, they got to card them, you know. So, yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, I've never felt better. So, for all of these, like, those females, boy, I tell you, those females that be like, I need dick, like, leave them alone. They trash. And, you know, they just got to fulfill their karma. They beast in the field. That's exactly what they are. They are beasts in the field. And it's no working with somebody like that. It is no work, and just accept that some are going to be the sacrifice. And like I started to say before, I don't feel sorry for none of them. I really don't. I don't feel sorry for none of them. I don't feel sorry for none of them because, like, even if you have your own experience and if you ain't learned from that, like, I mean, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Like, even if you have your own, even if you're not learning from anybody else's experience, but you're experiencing negative shit and you just wallowing in that shit, like, I can't feel sorry for you. I don't have it in me. Like, really. Like I said, I don't like none of y'all. I'm just here to fulfill my contract, and I incarnated or reincarnated here condescendingly. I didn't even want to come back. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm here to fulfill the karma that I need to do because I've had my life lessons. I know what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's with that. So yeah, another thing about that divestment thing, like, that's some bullshit. Them bitches was just jumping on a bandwagon. They're like, how you say, how you say, what's the colloquial phrase I'm looking for? They're like parasites, They're like parasites. They're like whatever is like popular at that point, they'll just suck on it like a parasite, like a leech. That's the word. Like a fucking leech. They'll just leech on and suck until they done suck that shit dry. Then they move on to the next thing. Then they suck till they suck that thing dry. Then they'll move on to the next thing just like a fucking leech. Until, and leeches suck until they get fat. Until they get real fat and they done dried that shit up. Then they move on to the next one. That's what these bitches are like that. Like, they are like that. And for them let me just say this, that I have two sons, and I call them sons like S-U-N, and I call them my sons. Like, we wordplay right here. It's like I said before, words are spelling words are spells. Words are spells, and grammar is the grimoire, okay? And I'm going to do a video about that, but that's why I don't fucking use divest. And like I said, I consider my sons to be my, M-A-S-U-N, like Mason, M-A-S-O-N, my sons, okay? M-A, ma, because that's what they call me. Hey, ma! And sons, S-U-N, okay? So I consider them, and I've always considered, and you know what, when people back then in 2012, 2011, I've always I've always labeled them or identified them as my sons, okay? And it's a whole lot to that. Yeah. So yeah, I basically resurrected God's through birth. And when I say birth, I mean B-E-A-R-T-H, okay? Birth. But you know something? It's like I said in the last video that words are spells, okay? That's why I don't consider myself divested. And I've never considered myself divested. I've just considered, remember that the gay boy who everybody was making fun of, I think around 2014, who was like, I'm delivered, I'm not gay no more. That was just so sad. I don't mean to laugh at him. I can't remember his name, but everybody was laughing at him because he went in church with all them gay men, who was putting their hands on his head, talking about, yes, he's been delivered. He ain't gay no more. Praise God, blah, 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 whatever. Well, you know what? He's not gay no more, and I'm not black no more, okay? I'm not divested. I'm not fucking black. And when I say no more, I'm spelling more, M-O-O-R, okay? Because like I said, words are spellings, words are spells. And the grammar is the grimoire, okay? So, yeah, I say I'm not black no more. I ain't black no more. And I haven't been black. I've been delivered, and I haven't been black since I stopped fucking with G. Floyd Indigence in 209. I've been delivered since then. Because like I said before, I went on my spiritual journey after that. So I've been delivered. I'm not black no more. But I could say that even before that, I was not black. I kind of like left all of that alone. Well, let me just say this. My last child was born in, I was 30 years old when I had my last, 30 or 31, I don't remember, but damn it, I was in my 30s, okay? My last child was born like 2002. So it's like, let me just put it like this. I raised them not to be black, okay? I not raised them because you raise animals. I reared them not to be black, all right? I never had a TV in a sense, whereas, you know, there was like cable where they could watch all of these channels and stuff like that. I've never had that. I had a TV, and back then it was, the CD wasn't even popular then. It was still like VHS. So I had a VHS, and everything that they watched, I watched it with them. I monitored it with them. I watched it with them. And I was picky about it, you know, different VHS tapes, movies, whatever it was. I watched everything with them, and I asked them questions about what they watched. Did they understand it? Blah, 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 blah. I've never played black people music around them. I've never played black people videos around them, black people music videos, none of that. The only music I played around them was mostly like, you know, the soft rock from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, you know, classical music. My favorite is Beethoven, and things like that. I've never really played, if I did play any black music, it was like jazz, like, you know, the jazz greats, like from back in the day, like in the 30s and shit, you know, I played that. They grew up learning to play instruments. They grew up learning to play piano, guitar, and drums. My youngest baby taught himself the violin, so he plays that as well. You know, I've always encouraged their, you know, creativity, artistry, things like that. You know, my youngest baby, he was writing his own songs, you know, and stories since he was like 4 years old. Man, I remember one time we was in a car, and yeah, he was 4 years old, and I was playing a song on the radio that was from a local artist. You know, I did support my local artists because they actually played music. And my baby was like, "Ma, they stole my song." I was like, you know what? I did not turn around and say that baby was crazy or anything. I was like, you know what? We finna find this mofo and beat his ass for stealing your shit. Okay? But anyway, yeah, so I never raised them up as black. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I've never encouraged them either to date, you know, black black girls. I've never encouraged that. I'm not gonna say that I've said anything maybe directly about it, but indirectly, I would say things like, you better watch what type of woman that you bring home, because I don't want her to be, what did I say? It was something like, basically I was saying, if like she was promiscuous, that I was gonna beat his ass, I was gonna beat her ass, then I was gonna take her home and beat her mama ass too. Okay, that's pretty much. So basically that mean that they couldn't really, fuck with no black girls, because even still, when they were in middle school, my oldest, he was in middle school. He came home one day and he was like, "Ma," like he was really upset. He was like, "Ma, how come these girls like boys that disrespect them?" Man, I was like, "What do you mean disrespect them? What do you mean? How come they're like, a boy be like, 'Hey, come over here,' and they'll go right to him?" I was like, "Oh, that's what you mean? Okay, that's disrespectful." He was like, "Yeah, that's not how you talk to a girl. That's disrespectful." I was like, "Okay." And I just told him, I said, the best answer that I think I gave him was like, there is a big low self-esteem among women. So if a woman would even answer to a dude that be like, "Yo, chick, come over here," or something like that, then, she got a real low self-esteem about herself. And yeah, you don't want to be with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, yeah, I've said stuff to them like that. Yeah, so look, as a matter of fact, let me just be honest. I encourage them to breed out. Okay, that's what I encourage, because I'm like, I don't want no stupid grandchildren. I just don't. Like, you just gotta watch who you. I don't want no stupid. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. I don't want no stupid grandkids. Okay. So that means I already know you're intelligent. That means you have to have an intelligent counterpart, and not just an intelligent counterpart, but somebody who is, holistically, their holistic well-being is well adjusted. And I'm talking about mind, body, and spirit. Don't bring no feminist here, cause I don't want you with no feminist. No, cause your mother is not a feminist. Your mother is not a womanist. Your mother is a mother. Okay, and I'm into motherism. As an original, there is no such thing. Like I said, feminism and patriarchy is the same thing. Those were brought in by the lesser females or the lesser women. you know I hate to say it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Only like you, I don't want to be, I'm not equal to a man is not equal to me, and I don't want to be, I don't want to be equal to a man, and I'm just going to leave it at that. A man is not equal to me. Men are here, like I said in my last video, to assist women. That's why they are here. That's why they were made. That's why our great mother, the dark mother, our cosmic mother, our mother God decided to make men. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So until, my lesson video, because I'm already going into an hour and I didn't mean to do that. But with my sons, like, no, I don't want you with no woman who's fucking weak and oppressed, because you ain't never seen your mama weak and oppressed. Okay? And femininity ain't got shit to do with it. Masculinity ain't got shit to do with it. I ain't never been weak and I ain't never been oppressed. And if anybody ever try to oppress me, I'll just stab them in their motherfucking neck. It's just that simple. It's that simple. But I'm just gonna leave it at that, because my rant, I still want to come back and rant about about Well, that girl, Lauren Smith, let me just continue. Lauren Smith feels the gorgeous black girl who just got murdered and nobody knows how she died. And you have these G. Floyd indigents talking about, ah, ha, ha, she was with a white dude, whatever. She was with a white dude. That's what you get. Let me just tell y'all something. I don't know what happened, and we're still waiting to find out, because from what I last heard, her father did a separate autopsy, and the detectives actually did not detect. They didn't do anything. There was another detective put on the case while the family was cleaning out her apartment and gathered evidence for this second detective. And I just think this is so sad because, I don't care, I don't care like who you, like, okay, let me just say it like this. If you still sitting on dicks of G. Floyd indigents, I just think you're disgusting. Okay, you're just totally fucking nasty, and it almost makes my stomach turn and sick and want to throw up. Like the chick told me about wanting being turned on about one nigga sucking another nigga dick, and she said she was turned on about that. That shit turned my stomach. I feel the same way. Whether you a female sitting on a nigga dick, or you and another nigga sucking on another nigga dick, like that's just nasty. That's just nasty. Okay, period. But I'm saying that to say that even if like, even if you call yourself divested, or you're not black anymore, because I'm not black anymore. I don't identify as black. I don't identify with any black culture, any black way of thinking. And I always, I always had to, like, when I'm on the outside of the world, I always had to, like, rest assured, when I'm dealing in business to get what I need for me and mine, I always have to, like, defend myself. Like, I'm not like them Negroes over there. Please don't try me like that. Don't uh don't don't interact with me on the premise that you think I'm like these Negroes over here, because I'm not. And this is when I have to go out there and deal with the public, okay? So, yeah, because I'm not. So, I'm not black anymore. I don't identify with none of that shit. I didn't raise my children, my sons up to identify with that shit. You know what I'm saying? They doing better than me, because they got friends of all races, Asian, Latino, white, the whole shebang. Like, they really did better than me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just saying that, I'm not black no more. I don't identify as black. I don't see myself as black. I don't put I'm black on any applications or whatever it is, for loan applications, for job applications, for apartment applications. I don't put black, okay? I don't. Now, if they go ahead and mark that box in, because they saw me, then that's on them. But me, I don't identify like that. And in terms of having to deal with the public, I always, it's like the first thing I have to do is to say something, because automatically people are going to deal with you on the premise that you're like them Negroes over there. You know what I'm saying? That's just a given. It don't matter where you go in this world, they are first going to approach you and interact with you on the premise that you're like those Negroes over there. And this is twofold why I'm saying this, because I don't identify with black, so I don't consider myself divested, because like I said, words are spells, And, you know, sometimes spells can be reversed. So if the intention of that word, divestment or divest, was to be one thing, you know, uh, which I'm pretty sure the intentions are good intentions. They began as good intentions. Whoever started it, whoever. I'm sure the person whoever, you know, even birthed the thought was like, it was for good intention, you know. But then you have those leeches, like I said, that will see something and suck on it and get fat until they about to burst and can't suck on that shit no more. Then they move on to the next thing. And then while these leeches are sucking on something that originally had the intention to be good and positive, it was reversed. That spell was reversed, like alchemy. It was reversed, and now it became something demented, derogatory, negative, confusion, you know. A confusion is a compound word, okay? Please look it up. Confusion. That's two words, okay? So that's what happened. That's why I will not consider myself, you know, a divested person. I ain't black no more. I've been delivered. In 2009, I've been delivered. I ain't black no more. Okay, so I'm saying that to say that I know, like I said, it was reversed. So in the reversal of this, it's been made to mean a lot of things, which I know it really isn't. But for other people who are confused, you know, it will mean a whole lot of things, like swirling and, you know, just leaving black men to go run with your damaged ass to another race. Or it doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that. Okay. And I just want to say it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to take as long as you need to heal. I mean, if it don't matter. It don't matter how long it takes. It you know, it for me it took some years after you know, after that incident in 2009 with somebody I thought I didn't have to vet because we went back 3 generations, you know, and then I was betrayed and harmed by them, you know. I mean, I had to heal from that. I had to heal from that. You know, that was like really traumatizing because like I knew this person like before I was born. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But it's okay to be by yourself and take as long as you need to heal, even if that transpire into years. And for women, it generally do, because you have to understand when you're taking in dick, you're taking in all of that person's spirit, their energy. You're taking in all of that. It's not just, you know, a chemical reaction. You're not just taking in their chemicals, you know. You're taking in, you know, all of that. You're taking in everything. And the sperm, it comes from the spinal cord. It comes from the mind. So if they got a toxic poison mind, I mean, you're taking in inside of you. The body is a temple. Like, women, you're the temple. Like, you have to understand that. Like, no, you have to understand that you're the temple. And when you're getting dick inside of you, you're taking in all of that spirit, all of that toxicity, all of that demonic energy. You're taking in all of that, and you can't get rid of that in a day. That literally takes years to purge yourself and clean your temple. It's not a few months. It's not, you know, that literally takes years. That literally takes years, okay? Especially if you're the kind of person that had like a whole lot of dick inside of you, you know, like that that takes years, okay? So I'm saying that to say that it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to be alone. Like, nobody said that you have to partner up. Like, maybe you're not here for that. You know, maybe you're here for a different karmic reason. Like, nobody says, I know society in the last sun cycle, it was the divine masculine, but the divine masculine was corrupted into the patriarch feminist, right? It was corrupted. And through that corruption, women were made to be evil and demonic. And even they turned Lilith into a demon. And she's a goddess, you know. She's an immortal being, you know. But even with that, the patriarchy, the feminists, they made you think that, you know, you must be paired up with a man in order to be somebody. Like, really, like, you're not shit unless you have a man, okay? Like, basically, that's what it is. It don't matter what kind of man you have. Any piece of man will do. You know, any piece of man will do. And this is true for all cultures across the planet. Because at one point, like I said in my last video, all cultures across the planet worshiped God as a woman. And then when she was demonized and everything changed, the man had to become more important than the woman. So, and you know, there's more women on this planet than men. Now, if you combine all of the races together, like, just looked at everybody as human and not as a color, because, you know, there really is no such thing as color. I have to do that in another video. It's the word spell color is really a cover for vibration. It's a vibration. And if you're an artist, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're an artist in terms of a visual artist, if you're a visual artist, you know what I'm talking about in the psychology of color. There is like really no such thing of color. It's a vibration that we're looking at in terms of the light, right? And all so-called colors come out of the darkness, right? Comes out of our dark mother, out of the blackness, right? Out of the darkness. But that's another video. But in terms of color, right? If you put all the human people together and don't look at color, you know, put all the people on the planet together, humans, right? Women outnumber the men. That's if you put all of us together in one basket. Women outnumber the men. There will never be any even pairing of men and women. Even if you put us all in the same basket, okay? If you take us and separate us by vibration, or what you know is to be color, if you separate us by that, women still are going to outnumber the men. So not everybody was meant to be paired up, okay? I mean, unless you're into polygamy and sharing dick, which really isn't a sacred thing, but you know, that's a whole nother video. That was just, again, that's the patriarch feminism thing. Has nothing to do with the divine masculine. But unless you're into sharing dick, then I guess you can be paired up. But basically, to be a monogamous and to be paired up, this is just, it's not going to happen for the simple fact that we outnumber the men, right? And it's okay to be alone. No one says that you have to be paired up with a man. I mean, I remember even before my grandmother who passed away, who raised me, like she was my mother. This is my father's mother. So yeah, she always wanted me to get married to like one of her kind. She always, she was like, she was saving her 25th silver anniversary decorations, because she was really planning to use those things at my wedding, her wedding dress and everything, and she wanted me to marry like one of her kind. She always that was her dream, to marry one of the people from her country, because like I said, my dad is Hispanic. They migrated to this country from Latin America. So she always wanted me to marry. And I remember I told her, I was like, I'm not sure that I really want to get married, because I couldn't really see myself, I couldn't see myself like, I'm just so, and I think I had to be about maybe 20, I had to be in my 20s when I told her this. I didn't really, I was dating and stuff like that. I was seeing guys and things, I was sexually active, but I wasn't like sexually active like these people are today. Like they just, it's just all about hedonism. But, I'm just really picky about who I let, even then, I was just always picky about who I let, enter into my temple. I've just always been picky about that. And just because I was dating guys don't mean that I was sleeping with them. So at that point early in my youth, I was dating a lot of guys. At least I would, because I couldn't really deal with too many of them at once. So I would say I was dating like maybe 5 guys at once. And it was always somebody who I used to like to go to the club with. Then there was another person that I would like to go to the movies with. Then there was another person that I used to like to just sit home and chill and eat, because this is New York, so we can get takeout from any restaurant that's like a worldly restaurant from anywhere in the world. You got French, Italian, Greek, Mediterranean. So there was that guy who I would like to just when I wasn't at the club, just chill and just fucking watch movies and shit and eat at home and drink wine. Don't mean that I was sleeping with these dudes though. I was just dating them, getting to know them and getting to know who they were. You know what I'm saying? And through those experiences, and let me tell you something, I had fun. Let me tell you, I was in my 20s. I had fun. Like, I wouldn't recommend anybody to have any children early until like after they're 30. And for men, I wouldn't recommend them to have children until after they're like 40, because, they really do, they take longer to like develop, like holistically speaking. But anyway, I didn't have mine until I was in my 30s. So, I was living a good single life. I didn't have to worry about nobody but myself. And at that point, I'm going to just say I wasn't trying to think about I was like selfish. It was all about me. Okay? It was all about me. All right? And yeah, I was selfish. I don't know, call it what you may, but it was all about me. But I was dating like these guys, and I remember telling my grandmother, I was like, Grandma, I don't know if I'm gonna get married. Like, I like men, but I don't think, I could see myself living with a person like for the rest of my life. Like, what if I get tired of them? Like, You know, because I could see when I'm dating these guys that, you know, I would get bored with them after a while. Like, I really don't think that, now that I look at it, I don't think that I've probably had any of those dating relationships went on for like more than 4 months. Like, if it was 4 months, then, you know, that was like exceptional. But none of those relationships really lasted for like more than 3 months, to be totally honest with you. I got bored with these guys and I was always moving on to the next one. And, you know, at that point in my life, you know, that was New York. And in those days, it was different. You know, I remember in those days, I was at the club every day of the week, except for Sunday. That was the only day I didn't go out to the club. That was the only day I didn't go out to the club, was the Sunday. But there was a club that I went to every day of the week. All the famous clubs where all the like famous rappers and boxers got in trouble at for rape or violence against the women, you know. I was in those spots, boy. I tell you, I was there like every day of the week, and I had fun. I have no regrets. I was there every day of the week. I slept all day and I partied all night. Okay, that was the life. I don't care what nobody say. But I remember telling my grandmother, I was like, you know, I'm not sure. I don't think I want to live with. I don't think I could do that. Like, I really don't think I could do that. I don't think that's for me. You know, I mean, I know she was with her husband, like, I don't know, for like 100 years. But I was like, I don't think that's for me, you know. My mother, she is like a phallus stroker is what I call them people. I don't call them mammies, and I explained in my other video why I don't use that term. But I call them phallus strokers. My mother's a phallus stroker. She is the type that believes that you are nothing without a man. It doesn't matter what kind of man it is. Any little piece of man will do. It don't matter. She's just nasty like that. And like, I don't like really have any respect for her because, well, you know, let me rephrase that. I respect her for what she taught me not to be. Okay? Exactly. I respect her for what she taught me not to be. And, you know, I have validation that I am nothing like her, you know, and those are the lessons that she taught me. So, yeah, she's just nasty like that. Like, any piece of a man will do. She's married to a G. Floyd indigent right now, and, you know, he's just, anyway, boy, I tell you. Anyway, I remember telling my grandmother that wasn't for me. And then she was like, well, what about children? She said, don't you want any children? And I was like, well, Grandma, you know, these are modern times. You know, I don't have to have a man to have a baby. I can just go to the sperm bank and pick out, you know, some sperm that's compatible, you know, with my holistic well-being. And I can get pregnant and I can have a girl, because I did want a girl. And I was like, I'm going to have me a baby that way. She laughed. She actually thought that was funny. You know, she was like, Lord, you know, Lord of mercy. This child going to go to the sperm bank. I was like, yeah, you know, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So even later on in life, when I was in my 30s and I had my sons, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I wanted to have them, you know, and when I, you know, called their souls in, I knew I wasn't doing it to attach myself to a man, because I didn't go to a sperm bank. I just did it the old-fashioned way. I had sex after like meeting his family and knowing what kind of people they were and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did the whole research thing, right? So I when I called in their souls, I knew I didn't do it because I wanted to be attached to a man, right? I did it because I wanted them. And I did it knowing that if anything, I don't care what happens, you know, yeah, the guy was with me then and there, but if anything in the future ever happens where is this dude wasn't around for whatever freaking reason, I was not going to dwell on that. I was going to take care of my babies, period. I didn't care. Like, I wasn't going to dwell on whatever, like how women do today. You know, I wasn't going to dwell on it. I knew that I was going to take responsibility no matter what happened. And their dad was with me for a time, you know. I would say maybe 3 years. That's the longest relationship I've ever had in my entire life. And the only reason why I think that I was even with him that long was because I had those children. Not because I wanted to be attached to them, but because I was pretty much going through modern society of, yeah, you know, they have to have a man around, blah, 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 blah. But that was the only reason. I never had to yell at him to get a job. You know, he had 2 jobs. Plus he had a side hustle. I ain't gonna say what it was, but I got paychecks from both his jobs. Every time he got paid, I got the money. I handled the money. His side hustle, I let him keep that money. We lived in separate places. And I think that's why it lasted that long, because we had our own places. I had my own apartment. He had his own place. I didn't move in with him after I had the baby. He didn't move in with me after I had the baby. I would, you know, he would come and stay with me for some time. When I got tired of his ass, I put him out. You know, I would go to his house, you know, and I would, you know, I had access to his house. I get in whenever I wanted to, and I would go there and I would clean, you know, I would clean up for him because he did have 2 jobs and he was kind of sloppy, you know. I barely saw him because he was working 2 jobs, right? So I would go and clean up his place. I would do his laundry for him and all of that. And then I would stay at times too. And when I got tired of him, I put his ass out of his own damn house. Be like, get the fuck out. He'd be like, man, how you gonna put me out my own house? I'm like, you know what? Just go. I can't stand you right now. Just leave, because you know. And usually when I did that, it'd be late at night, and I wasn't trying to travel because I was living in Manhattan. He lived in Brooklyn. I wasn't trying to travel that late at night with my child, you know, to go back to another damn borough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he left and fucking gave me some damn space, okay? But it lasted that long until we relocated. When we relocated to Georgia, that's where our second child was born. Our second child was actually born in Atlanta. When we relocated over there and we moved in together, I think that's when it all fell down to shit. And not only that, because it was that, and you know, them chicks in Atlanta, they just nasty. Like, they just nasty. They would pick up a nigga off the street like a stray dog and take him home, and they were just nasty, you know. Them bitches were just nasty. I don't recommend anybody who's a couple to live in Atlanta, okay? I just, like, if you're trying to do that, if you're trying to be a couple, do that anywhere but in Atlanta. So, but yeah, we moved to Atlanta, and then when we moved in together, that's the first time in the in like the 4 years we were dating, that we actually lived underneath the same roof. And I think when that happened, that's when everything just went to shit. I couldn't take that shit. Like I couldn't take it. Oh my God, it wasn't for me. It was not for me to be, no, it just wasn't for me. Now don't get me wrong, I mean, I didn't, like, I had no hard feelings towards him. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish nothing bad to him. That's the father of my children. Like, but that just wasn't for me, and I was miserable. I was miserable living under the same roof with him, and I used to put him out and everything, and then them bitches in Atlanta would pick him up off the street like a stray dog, and then and at that point I stopped sleeping with him. After our second child was born, I stopped sleeping with him. And I was just putting them out. And then when my baby was 2 years old and my oldest was 4, I think that's when, so yeah, we was together for like 5 years then, because we was together a year before our first was born. So it was like 5 years. So when the baby was 2 years old, that's when I was like, I can't do this. Like, you gotta go, like, and don't come back. Like, either you have to leave. I can't do this anymore. I was like, you have to go. Like, for real. And I had to do some dirty shit, and it wasn't called police either. I didn't call police on him. I did some other shit, and I had got him up out of there. Because he didn't want to leave. But I was like, nah, you gotta go. I can't do this. This is not for me, and like, you gotta go. And yeah, so I got him up out of there, and he's the typical George, he's the typical G Floyd indigent, talking about, well, if I can't be with you, then I don't want to have nothing to do with those boys. Like, I'm like, whatever. That you ain't gonna have to answer to me. You know what I'm saying? That's something you're gonna have to deal with you and your maker, and with them if they ever decide to fuck with you like that. So, I just left that shit alone. But I'm gonna tell you, even though we wasn't together, and while I was still all the way in Georgia, and I think he had left Georgia at that point. I think he left Georgia and he moved to Chicago. But even then, while we were still in Georgia, I was still able to call his family and get whatever help I needed for his sons from his family. So, I mean, he got a good family. I mean, he might not be shit, but he got a good family. And I've never kept them away from, his side of the family. I never did. Even when I came back to New York, I made sure they was, still involved, because they helped me the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but anytime I needed something, they wouldn't ask me no questions. They would just help me. They wouldn't even ask me no questions. They would just help me. And I loved them. I love them to this day. And my boys are grown now. And I still love them. I'm still in touch with them. But I'm saying that to say that you don't necessarily always have to be paired up with someone. It's maybe it's not in the cards for you, I mean, and for all of those who were saying, well, the boy needs a man, let me tell you something. Going into manhood and womanhood is a rite of passage, right? Not everybody will make it through that rite of passage, and it's nature that will decide whether that person make it through that rite of passage to ascend into manhood and womanhood. And I'm gonna tell you, nature, also neter, okay? That's what Neter means. Nature, right? Boy, let me tell you, I didn't have to, nobody taught my sons how to be men. It was in their biology that whole time. It was innate in them. Their manhood was innate in them. I didn't have to teach them how to be a man, you know? I don't know if y'all can understand that because y'all are so, hooked on, the patriarch feminist norms, right? But it's nature that determines whether that person graduate or ascend into manhood and womanhood. It's nature that does that. Nobody else. Nobody else. Either they're going to have it in their natural ability to be a man or a woman, or they don't. And for the most part, you got mofos being born that don't. But I never had to teach them. I never had to teach them how to be men. I've never had them involved with the brotherhood bitches that I like to call it. And the brotherhood bitches is any type of organization that's for boys or for men and ran by men, like, fraternities, educational programs ran by fraternities, sports and things like that. Anything that has to do with what they were saying, oh, this is, to help boys who ain't got no father, Anyway, my father was still around, so, and I'm not even going to say that he was even a good influence because, after he divorced my mother, he never remarried, but he was very, I don't know if I want to, can I say he was a womanizer? He had a lot of different girls. He had a lot of different women. Now, did he, yeah, and all of these women, because my father always told me that a man was supposed to financially help women, and that's what he did. So I want to say that he was a womanizer, but I think at this point, I'm going to say, when I look at it, I'm going to say that the relationships were reciprocal. He was getting what he wanted, and she was getting what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm saying that so, like, in terms of how to treat a woman, with respect, yeah, he was there for them for that, I guess. But in terms of monogamy, they wouldn't have learned that from him. They wouldn't have learned that from him. But I'm saying that to say that I've never had to teach them. I remember, like I said, my oldest son came and asked why these women like to be disrespected, and I had to explain to him about low self-esteem and people not liking themselves, and how he need to be careful because he don't need to be with women like that, And then there was another time when, the gangstress almost came out, my old ways almost came out of me, because remember, I didn't have children until I was like in my 30s, so I had a lot of things that I was doing, like I had to stop doing. And I'm not going to incriminate myself here, but I just had to stop doing it, right? But I remember one time he came home and he confided in me that he was being jumped by some boys in school, in the schoolyard, that was actually from another school. And I think he was in the 6th grade at this time. He was like 11. And you know me, I was like ready to go and beat everybody ass. I was ready to beat their ass, take them home, beat their mama's ass too, because I know they all ain't had no father in the home, right? But they were bullying him, and I remember telling them earlier on, like before they started school, like when they were in kindergarten, I had to warn them about bullies. And I made sure that I explained to them, and over the years I reiterated that, you know, if there's any, come across any bullies, I said, just know that their home life is not like yours. You know, they don't have anybody at home that love them, that gives a shit about them, that makes sure that they fed, and you know, whatever, you know, like they're probably getting the shit beat out of them too. You know, I had to let them know what bullies' home life was really like. So I think I was telling them that so that they don't like hate the person that would be bullying them, but just so where they could understand where it was coming from, right? But my son came home in the 6th grade and told me he was being jumped, and that one of them was the gang leader. And I remember telling him when he was jumped before in the 1st grade when he came, and I remember telling him how to deal with that. I was like, well, you know, you got to get the bully. I was like, I don't care if everybody else jump on you. I was like, you get that mofo on the ground and you start beating the shit out of him, and you keep beating the shit out of him, even if everybody else who follow him is on top of you. I was like, you don't get off of him, right? So in that situation in the 1st grade, he came home and he was like, you know, he did what I told him and it worked, right? The dude never bothered him again. But in the 6th grade now, it's different because, you know, we in New York, and these kids over here, you know, they already smoking weed in the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? In the 5th grade, they out here smoking weed and selling crack and shit. This is in New York City. So, you know, he came home and he was like, they was bothering him, and I was like, okay, I'm finna go up to your school, and I was like, I'm gonna deal with it, and I'm gonna beat everybody ass, and I'm taking them home, and I'm beating their parents' ass too, and I'm calling, you know, my cousins, whoever the fuck I gotta call. I'm calling everybody. They're gonna be over the bridge in 5 minutes, and we gonna deal with this shit, because ain't nobody gonna be beating on y'all like that. I was like, fuck that shit. I don't even put my hands on y'all, you know. And my son says to me something that just made me like, it made, and at this point I was going through my spiritual journey, and what he said to me was like, it was like I had a flashback on what I was learning through my spiritual journey. And I'm gonna tell you what he said. He said to me, he said, no, Ma, he said, I don't want you to come up to the school. I don't want you to what he said, I don't want you to come up to the school because I don't want you to take my manhood. Like, you're gonna take my manhood from me if you show up. And I was like, wow. I couldn't even respond to my son when he said that. I was like, you know, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't even respond to him. I just felt like, wow, this little 11-year-old child just told me that I was going to take his manhood from him if I showed up to the school to confront some bullies that was jumping on him. And I was like, damn. So right after he said that, I was thinking about, you know, Isis or Set. What her Greek name was Isis. Her Kemetu name was Set. And, you know, she hid from Set the whole time. The story goes that she hid from Set while she was impregnated with Heru or Horus, and because he was planning to murder the baby too. So she hid from him not only the whole time that she was pregnant, but even after she gave birth, and even as she reared him as a single parent. She reared him on her own. And then while he was growing up, she would tell him about the stories about how Set had killed his father. And so when the boy turned 18 or 25, or I can't remember what the age was, but when he came of age, he wanted to get revenge for his father. And or Set was like, nah, I don't want you to do this. You can get hurt. Like, nah, I don't want you going to fight. You know, like, you could get hurt. Like, let me help you out. I'll use all my magic and make this mofo disappear and everything. And he was like, he was upset with her. He was like, no, you have to let me do this. Like, you can't take you can't take this from him. I mean, you can't take this from me. You have to let me go and establish my manhood, you know? And that's when he went to go fight Set. So that kind of reminded me of that when my son told me that. That's what I thought about automatically. And then I even called my dad to let him know what happened. I called him and let him know what happened. And I was like, you know, I wanted so bad to go to the school anyway and just hide. And, you know, but I said, you know, I literally had to, like, I had to restrain myself from doing that. And eventually he came home about a week later and he let me know what happened. And, you know, like he said, like he beat everybody up. And then he said that the leader let them fight one-on-one. And he fought everybody in his gang. He beat everybody up. And then when he said when it came to the leader, he said when he got to punching him and he like knocked him on the ground, he was punching him. And he said he went blank. When he said that, I already knew. I was like, yeah, that kind of runs in the family. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Look, I got a brother who's in jail now for murder, and you know the person that he murdered, you know, thought that he was the one, right? But my brother admitted to it, and he went blank, and you know the person just ended up 6 feet under. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So my son told me, he said that he started, you know, he started going blank while he was wailing on this boy, just wailing on him. And he was like, Ma, he said, it's a good thing so-and-so was there. I'm not going to mention the young boy name, but that was his best friend. And they still good friends now when they're in their 20s. But that was his best friend from school back when they was in the 6th, or they met each other in the 4th grade. So they were best friends from there, and they were happened to be in the same school in the 6th grade, right? So he was like, if it wasn't for so-and-so, he said, I think I would have killed that boy. He said, because I just started wailing on him, and I went blank, and he had to get me up off of him. He had to stop me, and he was like, he was half unconscious. He was like, he was beat up, and my son said, look, this is how God-like he is. So after he beat his ass like that, he picked him up and carried his ass home to his mama. He carried his ass home to his mama, and I was like, what? I said, well, what did you tell his mama? And he was like, well, I told her that we were fighting because he was bullying me. And I said, well, what did his mama say? He was like, well, she ain't said nothing to me, but she started yelling at him. I was like, oh, wow. But yeah, and I'm saying that to say that I didn't have to teach them how to be men, that they are naturally men, and that they went through their rites of passage through nature, and they got their diploma in manhood, okay? I ain't never tell them that they were not supposed to practice violence against women. You know, I didn't have to tell them that. You know, they already know. And I remember even asking my youngest one, he was like, because I don't remember what had happened, but I asked him, it was something that had happened in the news. I think I think it was in McDonald's in Manhattan. Some dude just wailed out. Some dude who worked in McDonald's had beat up a customer, and I think he beat her unconscious or something. And I remember that was back around the time where them them so-called originators of divestment bitches, the leeches, was on social media and shit, and they was like, yeah, she deserved that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't care, like, what she did. No man is supposed to put their hands on a woman. Like, that's against cosmic law. What you know is a sin. That's like against cosmic law. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And they were like, yeah, that bitch deserved that shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, yo? Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And it was because of that I had to go ask my sons. And they were like little. They were still, I don't know, in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. And I asked them, I was like, you know, I explained to the situation, and they was upset. When I told them that, they was real upset. And they was like, I would never put my hands on a woman. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And they was mad. They wanted to find that dude and beat the shit out of him. And they were just little, you know, they were just little. But they wanted to go and find that dude and hurt him. And they was like, we would never do that, Ma. Like, that's, like, you're not, like, they knew they wasn't supposed to do that. And I said, well, son, what if she fucking put her hands on you? What if she goddamn, you know, wail and start punching you in your face? And they told me that will never happen because I'ma run. Like, she ain't never going to get a chance to put her hands on me because I'm too quick. I'm going to just move the fuck up out the way. I'm going to run. That's what my babies told me. I didn't have to tell them that. I didn't have to. And the crazy thing is, I didn't have to tell them that. My father had to tell me that. My own father had to tell me, ain't no man is ever supposed to put their hands on you. And he said, if there's any man that ever put their hands on you, he is not a man. He is an animal savage. He is not supposed to put his hands on you. Man, girl, do you know how many times I wanted to put my fingers around your mother's throat and just choke the life out of her, but I ain't never did that. Anytime she pissed me off, I just walked away. That's what my dad told me. That's what my dad told me. Yup. And I laughed when he told me that shit too, because I ain't never knew that he wanted to put his fingers around my mama's neck and choke the life out of her. I could never imagine that my father would ever feel like that, you know, because to me, you know, he was like everything, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, my dad had to tell me that. No man's supposed to put their hands on you. He had to tell me that. I ain't never had to tell my sons that. They already knew. They already knew. So, I'm saying that to say, I know I'm going long into this rant, but for rest in power, Lauren Smith, who got killed in her apartment, and we don't know what happened yet. And, you know, it's okay to be alone. It's all right to be alone and to heal yourself. You don't want to go into any relationship, even if you still nasty enough to sit on a George Floyd dick. You don't want to go into any relationship with any race of men and you're still damaged goods. And when I say damaged goods, I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally, okay? And mentally damaged goods. You don't want to go into a relationship like that with anybody. Like, why would you want to do that? Because if you do that, then the other person, regardless of who he is going to be nothing but a crutch. Like a crutch for you. That's not good. That's not good for you, and that's not good for that person that you're getting involved in your messiness. That's not good. That's just not, it's just not right. And it's not fair to the other person. It's not fair to the other person. So with that being said, if you need any clarity on that, you know I got my email and my phone number down there, so you can always text me or email me. And the last thing that I want to say is what had just happened last night in Washington Heights, Manhattan. There was a police officer that got killed, and there is another police officer that's in critical condition, and the suspect is also in critical condition. Now, I'm just going to be brief with this because this is going to set the precedent for the rest of the country of black women who you know, like, it's really not going to be no escaping anywhere Blackistan, especially, you know, for a woman like myself who like being by herself, don't like, I'm not going to say don't need a man, because men were made to assist women. So I have to like want a man. You get what I'm saying? And right now, I really don't want one. You know, not to say I'm not attracted to them. I am. I'm mainly attracted to Asian men because, you know, I've had like some experiences in my youth and my childhood, and I was also in love with Bruce Lee. I was in love with Bruce Lee, you know, fell in love with Jackie Chan, fell in love with Jet Li, and you know that movie that Jet Li did with Aaliyah was everything. That was like the green light right there. But I'm attracted to Asian men, not attracted to George Floyd's. I'm attracted to European men. I won't say like white men, American white men. I like European men. Like there's a few white American men that I like, but they're like celebrities, you know, like old school celebrities too, you know. Oh, they're like old school celebrities, actors, like, well, that's not even important, but yeah, those are probably like the only white men that I'm attracted to that's American, but I'm attracted to European men, you know, from Europe, right? But mainly Asian men. But even that I'm attracted to them, you know, I actually had this DJ friend that who was he was Japanese, and he used to DJ for a reggae club, you know. Oh my God, he was so freaking fine, you know. But if I was like 30 years younger, even though he didn't think that I was that old, but if I was 30 years younger, I damn sure went for it, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's going to mess up, you know, women like myself who don't necessarily want a man right now and still don't want to stay in Blackistan. Like there's Blackistan, USA, so there's like Blackistan all over the USA, and those who are not attached to white men who can leave Blackistan because they are attached to white men. And those that are attached to Asian men, they just left the country, period. They're not about to stay here. They left the country. But I'm saying that because what happened last night is going to set the precedent for the rest of the country. There was a situation where a domestic violence situation was called in, and this is the mother called the police for domestic violence for her son, who was 47 years old with a criminal record, who came in from Baltimore, Maryland, quote unquote, to take care of a sick relative. Now, they're not specifying if the sick relative is her or somebody else, but apparently she just got out of the hospital for some type of surgery, and she also has a young child in the house, and that's probably a foster child, you know, because that make good money out here in New York City. You know, foster children give good money out here in New York, right? That foster care money will pay your rent. Okay? But I'm just speculating on that. I don't know. But the son, the suspect, who is her son that came in from Baltimore, Maryland, with the criminal record is 47 years old. So I'm just guessing that even if she had him at 15, you know, that she has to be at least like 60 years old, right? 60, maybe 63, right? So she's up there. And she is also a correction officer. She's a CO. She's a correction officer. So at first, last night they were saying that it was her gun that he used to shoot the police. But today, because this just happened last night. This just happened last night. So today or tonight they're saying that he brought in some high-tech weapon from Baltimore, that it was an unlicensed and unregistered gun, you know, that came, some high-tech shit they was saying, some high-tech handgun, like some new shit, sound like some military grade shit. So anyway, police was called. He was in the back bedroom. The way that the police chief described it was, it's an open one-bedroom apartment. You walk in, as you walk in, there's the living room, dining room, and kitchen area. And then you turn to your right, and there's a bedroom and a bathroom. Now, they said that the suspect, her 47-year-old criminal son, was in the bedroom with the door closed. And then police called his name, and he didn't respond. And then when they opened the bedroom door, shots were fired. So he was waiting on police to open the door. He killed one of them. The other one was in critical condition. Then a third officer came into the apartment and shot the son, who is also in critical condition. So we don't know if he's gonna live, and if the other police officer, who's 22 years old, who was also a member of that community in Manhattan, went to high school there and everything, you know, he was a member of the community there, and he was only 22 years old. He died. The other one who's in critical condition is 27 years old, and he's in critical condition. They said they don't know if he's gonna make it. They don't know if the 47-year-old suspect is gonna make it. And I'm saying this to say that this is gonna set the precedent for the rest of the country. She, black woman, called for a domestic violence situation against a George Floyd, whom she probably knew wasn't shit. I mean, I know she had to know this. There's no way. It's just no way. She knew. And boy, I tell you. Anyway, I'm just saying that to say, black women, if you need police, they're not going to really, they're not going to, how can I say this? They are not going to rush to get to your aid, okay? So, and more than likely at this point, you know, they'll probably wait until you already met your maker before they even show up at this point, if you're calling for a DV situation. And I know that in some states already, like Georgia, which is why I never called police on my baby daddy. I know that in some states already, that if you call police for DV situation, that they will take the both of you in. They will take you in, and they will take that George Floyd indigent that you're calling on, and then your children will get processed through the system, through Child Protective Services system, you see. And that's why I never called police on their dad to get him out, because I was just tired of him. Not like he really did anything that I needed to call police for anyway. He was just, I just didn't want to be with him like that anymore. Like, I didn't want him living under the same roof with me, you know? And I used somebody else to handle that for me. I never called police. I never really had to. He wasn't like really that type of person. Like I said, he worked 2 jobs, and even when he left, I've never said anything bad about, I've never said, I never really said anything like negative or disrespectful or anything bad, you know, to my sons about their father. I've never did that. And as much as, you know, I may not agree with my mother's parenting skills, I'm gonna say for the same thing that I've never heard her say anything bad about my father either after they divorced. Now, I'm not saying that to say that she's never said anything bad about him, but if she did, I know I've never heard it. I've never heard it out of her mouth ever. I've never heard it. So, and that's another thing that I've learned from her. So I've never done that to them either. And really, I honestly really don't have anything bad to say about him. I mean, he served his purpose. He did what I needed him to do, and I'm all right with everything else. I truly am. But I'm saying that to say that you know, in certain states already, like, they will take your children and arrest both of you. So now with this happening in New York, and you have to understand that NYPD is like, you know, in the whole country in terms of police, you know, they're like top notch. They're like elite, you know, like shit. They got FBI, CIA, and Interpol status in this motherfucker. You know, it's like they're elite. They're the elite force in the country, you know, and this is going to set the precedent right here. You know, not just any black women calling police for a domestic violence situation, any black woman calling police for any type of help at all. This is really, really going to make all of us look bad. Like, it's, you know, it's just sad. It's just sad, but I see that coming. So, you know, if you're not paired up, you know, like me, and you want to leave Blackistan, my advice to you, and you don't have to take it, is to just leave the country. Leave the country. That'll be your best bet. That'll be your best bet, because it's like they see you coming and you single, like you not partnered with anybody. You're not partnered with a Latino. You're not partnered with a white person. You're not partnered with an Asian. Already, if you were partnered with a black, they're not letting you in, you know. But you're not partnered with any of these other races of men, and you're single, you're by yourself. They're going to look at you like, okay, you're going to come in by yourself, and then you're going to bring in the rest of these G. Floyd indigents. They're like going to come in after you. You're going to provide for them. You're going to, you know, you're just going to bring them in. And like, no, like, it's just going to look really, it's just going to make things more difficult. It's going to make things more difficult, because it's already like that now, you know. And then with this happening last night, it's a wrap. I mean, I'm like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I already knew that when I lost my job last year, that it was just a sign for me to do what I need to do to focus on my growth and development and do the things that I need to do so I can just leave the country. And that's my ultimate goal. I mean, I don't like, I'm gonna leave my country. I'm gonna leave the country because I'm single. I'm not married, and these savages are just making it difficult. You know, it's just, and it's not gonna get any better, because they have a karma contract to fulfill. And I just wanted to talk about that. That's really what I wanted to say. it's not going to get any better. So if you're single, if you're not paired up with in an interracial relationship, just leave the country. You do better. You know, you don't need much. You're educated. You're a black woman. You can do it. And there are some black women on YouTube who I do follow who has, you know, left the country, and they say they're never coming back here. There's one that I follow who lived in Iceland for like 7 years. She's single. And like most of these women are single. They're single. They're not paired up with any man. And they left the country, and they're all educated. They all make money online or, you know, at a business. Some of them teach. Some of them, like, they do a lot of different things, you know, and they say their quality of life is better. You know, they don't have to, I don't want to say they don't have to work as hard, but their quality of life is better. You know, the quality of life is better. Is not like, you know, where I live here in Manhattan. Like I said, that's cheap for a 2-bedroom apartment that I'm paying $1,600 a month for. Like, for me, I'm lucky, and you know, I'm in New York, you know, and that's cheap where I'm at. I'm telling you, that's cheap for this little matchbox ass apartment, and it is a matchbox, okay? But you know, some of them are living good for like half of that, $800 a month in like houses, 3-bedroom houses, whatever country they in, Iceland, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, Korea, you know. So I'm like, bump that, I'm out of here. As a matter of fact, my son done bought me a passport book, and it's pink, and that's exactly what it says. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Because I kept telling them that. I kept like, y'all, I'm out of here. Like, y'all need to do what y'all got to do so y'all can meet me over there, because it's like, it's not even working. You know, and that's the thing with them too. It's like, you know, being in America and is, you know, while these George Floyd's got to fulfill their karma, I really don't want my sons getting, you know, in the middle of that, where they will be a consequence of that, like these black women are, you know, that are dying from these George Floyd indigents. You know, I don't want my sons to be a consequence of that either. So yeah, I stress them to do what they have to do to prepare to also leave this country so they can go work somewhere else, you know. So and other esoterical and spiritual reasons that I'm really not going to get into, and probably will do that in another video. But yeah, it's like, if you're single and you're a black woman, like, this just set the precedent. Like, police is not going to help us. Police is not going to help us. So yeah, I will call police quick, fast on a George Floyd indigent. I would do that without hesitation, you know. But it's like, you got these lesser women out here just making it bad for us, just really making it bad for us, you know. Boy, I tell you, her son was 47 years old and ain't had no place to go, homeless. And the dude that killed the girl in the Burger King that I was ranting about a month ago, he homeless too, and he an immigrant, and more than likely he illegal. He from Jamaica. He Jamaican and homeless. He was homeless too. Homeless. Running out here in the street with no place to live. Shot the girl, shot the girl in the stomach and killed her even after she gave him the $100 fucking measly fucking dollars. Boy, I tell you. Oh, boy, I tell you. Girl, I'm just like, I'm just saying, fuck being divested. Just don't be black anymore. Don't be black anymore. And I'm just going to leave it at that for right now, because I really, really overdid it. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but this was just a rant. And I'll come back later to work on the other videos about the Divine Mother and the Divine Feminine returning in the 26,000-year cycle. So if you haven't looked into those videos, please listen to those. I put them in a playlist called The Return of the Dark Mother, and I put them in the order that it should be listened to. And please, if you have like any questions, you know, or anything that you just want me to expand on and reiterate, please feel free to email me or leave me a text message. I put the information in the description box, so you can contact me. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all. So until then, I'm sorry for this long rant, but I just had to do it because it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse before it gets any better. So just watch the other videos, because it's a lot of information in there that may be able to help you. And like I said, because right now this is a whole lot of chaos, and it's calling for you to be calm in the middle of this chaos. Like you're like right in the middle of the tornado, but nothing touches you. You know what I mean? So just and like I said, my information and my food isn't for everybody. It may just be for one person, you know, or 20 people, you know, if it's even that many, you know. And that's okay. If this isn't for you, it's okay to just keep it moving. That's not a problem. I don't mind that either. I really don't. Okay, so until then, I'll talk to you again, and subscribe, like, and share. And until then, everyone have a good night and a good morning, depending on what side of the world you're on. Later.